Hey everyone, it's John here from Hockey, and I'm going to be live here, so if you're on the replay, please subscribe, smash that like button, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. This is breaking news. Lightning players have tested positive. Multiple Lightning players have tested positive, and this is obviously a situation where we're in Phase 2, and Phase 3 was scheduled for July 10th. A lot of people are flipping out right now. I think I'm going to include my opinion in this and just how they should go forward. I just want to go through some of the statement. So this was from the Tampa Bay Times. Multiple Lightning players have tested positive for the coronavirus, according to a source inside the organization. The positive tests came up as part of the twice weekly testing. So obviously they're doing weekly testing twice a week. Phase 2 protocol. The organization is waiting on results of more tests and is performing contact tracing. So they're going through who tested positive. If a following test comes back negative, where they were. So Amalie Arena has officially been closed, but some employees have worked from the building, asked to follow social distancing guidelines and wear masks. The building is now closed to all non-essential staff until at least July 6th, according to an email sent internally. There's another aspect to this that I think a lot of people are freaking out, and they obviously are looking for the NHL to just kind of shut down things. It was already talked about before, and I think the NHL should have stepped up, and now they probably regret it. They should have stepped up and had a team like the Lightning not in Florida, not in Amalie Arena, because in Texas, I mean, specifically in Florida, but Texas and a couple other states, like, the numbers have been going up recently. So for a state like Florida and for the Lightning, I mean, you saw the Phillies and their positive tests, and they've been training in Florida. So for the Lightning, I don't think that was the ideal, obviously, plan. I think they should have done something about that right off the bat, but I don't think this is, again, if the Lightning players don't get tested, like if the NHL is not in this situation right now and they don't get tested, they're in a situation right now where they're at risk to get it. Maybe not at risk to be in a risky situation or a life or death situation, but in a situation to get it. The numbers are already up, so I'm all for player safety, and I don't think if you look at the whole situation, you can deny the NHL has taken wrong steps here. They have taken the steps to bring it back just like any other sport, MLB, NBA, MLS. So I think it's a situation, it's in the state of Florida. So before I kind of go right ahead, or if anyone goes right ahead and says cancel the playoffs or cancel the season, I think we need to wait and see what next steps are, because Ottawa, back in Phase 1, like Ottawa, for example, had 5 players tested positive? I mean, Colorado's had a few, Boston's had a few. So while this could be a similar situation, I think it's also a situation where Florida's numbers are really bad. So regardless of the NHL coming back or not, players that are already in Florida were at risk to get it in general. So I think the fact that now Amalie Arena is going to be closed till at least July 6th, and they were targeting a July 10th training camp, it might be a situation where now the players that hopefully no one else has it, hopefully it's just the few players, and maybe hopefully those few players, some of them would get tested negative. So I think overall maybe they shift the Lightning to a different training facility, obviously far from Florida. In its Phase 2 protocol, the NHL created 2 groups, player access personnel and no player access personnel, so only certain members of the staff could come in contact with the players, 1 athletic trainer, equipment manager, strength and conditioning coach, and dressing room attendant per group of 6 skaters and team physician. The league has announced the target date of July 10th for training camps to open, like I said, but the NHL and Players Association have yet to formally agree to resume the season. If they do come into an agreement, the league plans to host 12 teams from each conference and 2 hub cities for the playoffs. We already know that stuff. Anyway, so I am live. I think obviously the whole situation sucks a lot, like Minka just said in the chat. Guys, and I think we need to understand this. It's in Florida. It is in Florida. Regardless if the NHL comes back or not, players that are in Florida, anyone that's in Florida. So I think we got to wait to see what happens. We absolutely got to wait to see what happens. I'm a nurse. The testing will be an issue. Still lots of false positives and inconclusive tests happening. Yeah, we gotta wait. So for the hub cities, that's another big thing, and that's why I'm saying, you know what? And I saw, Minka, your tweet on Twitter, for players like Max Domi and Capo Caco that have diabetes. Yeah, it's going to come to a situation where they have to make a decision. And I'm not saying the NHL right now should, I'm not saying it's safe to come back or not come back, really. It's a tough situation. I think once the NHL comes back, I think if they can get into that bubble, it would be safe to do so. Based on everything that they've provided us, based on everything that they've told us, I think it's safe to do so if they can provide that bubble. If they're coming to Toronto and the numbers are bad, obviously that might not be safe. But if they're in that bubble consistently, then I think that's something to think about. People need to get that. We're in phase 2 right now, and players are not isolated. They're not in that phase 4 bubble. They're not in the bubble where they're not in contact with anyone. There are restrictions being lifted right now in different states. So for Florida, it's just loosey-goosey, everything going on. Guys, let's be real on this live stream right now. It seems like Florida doesn't give a shit half the time. So the fact that people are getting tested positive in Florida, is that really a surprise? It's a very scary thing. It's absolutely a scary thing. It's a really upsetting thing. It kind of pisses me off. But I think people need to understand that. People really need to understand that this is a situation where they're in Florida. We haven't, phase 2 started, almost a week ago now? And this is only the first we're hearing of positive tests. Like, I don't know what people expected, to be honest, if it was just going to be smooth sailing. So, that's my opinion. I think it's classic on Twitter, people saying absolutely cancel the season. It's also classic on the other side, the selfish people that are like, who cares? They're not at risk. Like, both extremes are ridiculous in my mind. How can you still, like, who just immediately goes, cancel the season after this? Like, it's classic at this point again. And then who immediately goes, oh, who cares? Without knowing, like, more information. So, very scary situation. I'm going to repeat it one more time. Florida. Like, it's so frustrating. I don't, like, you can have your opinion, but I don't agree with just going, cancel the season, or, like I said, who cares? They're young players. They're not at risk. Like, either one is absolutely stupid. And like I said, and Rob Ivan just put in the chat, Florida is the epicenter right now. Florida is like the worst in the U.S. So anyone that's surprised about this should wake up. Honestly, I was thinking about that right off the bat. I was worried that Florida was like one of the Tampa players or Panthers players. We're going to get a few of them. Right? And on the other side of it, no other team. So Tampa Bay's facility is going to get shut down. We're going to get more information on how many players got it. They're going to isolate themselves. They're going to do this. They're going to take the steps that are needed to. And they're going to go from there in terms of where can they get Tampa into training. Because right now it's still June 19th. I'm sure a lot of players still want to do their own training, which it would be safe to do so, I would say, in a different state. Isolated. Again, they do testing twice a week. So for people that think that this is like a situation, oh, you're risking players, those players were already at risk. If they didn't get tested, they would have had it and wouldn't have known. I think people need to understand that. Those players, if not for getting tested, they would have been walking around Florida. Who knows? And no, I'm not making a joke out of it. I'm just saying that people are thinking that because they got tested, it's like a bad thing. That it's at least it's better that they know. That's the whole point. At least it's better that they know that they have it, so that they can go from here and isolate themselves. And that's why I think it's also scary that the MLS and NBA are actually going to Orlando. Rob Iman just mentioned it. They absolutely are going to Orlando, it seems like. So the fact that the NHL is, again, Vegas is definitely a risk in my mind. But if they're completely isolated, if they're completely in that phase 4 bubble and no players have it going in, how could anyone get it? I'm knocking on wood, but how can anyone get it? if they're completely isolated, completely in a bubble, families are together, players are together, teams are together. Let's see. We don't know the players yet. Anyways, mega rant. I'm tired of it has to be one extreme or the next. Let's just wait. Why is it always just a quick decision on things? Because this happened, they should cancel the season today? Is that what people wanted? Yeah, and exactly, W52. They probably won't tell the players' names. They probably won't reveal the players' names, and that's probably a good thing. Anyways, guys, either way, I'm going to make my final statement here. No, the NHL should not come out and cancel the season today. And no, it's not intelligent to say, oh, these players are young. They're not at risk at all. It's no big deal. Those are both ridiculous. No, the NHL is not going to do that. And no, that's not a response that makes sense at all. Anyways, big shout out to Dutchie at the end here. Hopefully Dutchie's back for good. I'll be in the Discord, guys, chatting about this. I'm going to leave this up for a video so people can actually rewatch it and it's not super long. That's my take. Hub City update, of course. Obviously, this is bigger news right now. For Canada, it looks like the NHL will be exempt from that 14-day quarantine. It was submitted. It was going to be confirmed, hopefully. So it looks like there's a very likely chance that either Edmonton, Vancouver, or Toronto gets the other hub city. And aside from Vegas, it seems like they'll be the other hub city if that goes to the case. So thank you for watching. Of course, please subscribe if you are new. Smash that like button. I really appreciate the support. I won't be live tonight, most likely. I could be live on my phone, maybe. I'll be posting a video or two as well, a couple throughout the weekend. I appreciate all the support, like I said. And again, they're going to move from this. They're not shutting down today or tomorrow. They're going to take some steps. And you know what? If it becomes the situation where it's completely unsafe and it gets out of hand and they can't see a phase 4 being safe, that's the key. Stop talking about phase 2 because these players are not in control or in isolation yet. They're still wandering around. They're still in the public. If they can't see a phase 4 being safe, then that's the problem. Then that's absolutely the problem. All right, guys. Thank you. Hope you enjoy. Be safe. Peace out.